Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Story Behind the Hymns. All right, Jamie, what do we have this week?
Clues.
3 clues.
All right,
We
our
got
hymn
this.
today was written in 1742.
1742?
Yeah, this doesn't
Like-
even sound like a real date.
Like
does it?
before even America?
Before America.
Wow.
This hymn
Okay.
was written.
1742. So it's stood the test of time?
Yeah, absolutely. The person that wrote it was highly educated.
Ooh, so smart guy.
Yeah, very
Okay.
smart guy. Spent some time at various universities and whatnot.
Nice.
And the last clue is this hymn was written following the death of 8 children.
Ooh, 8?
8.
Wow. Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah. It gets worse too,
But-
but we'll get into that.
But I do understand, like, what would cause you to write this hymn because you are going through so much in life.
Yep.
Well, my friends, if you guessed this hymn, you would be correct. By grace I'm saved, grace free and boundless. My soul believe and doubt it not. Why stagger at this word of promise? Has Scripture ever falsehood taught? Know then this word must true remain. By grace you too will life obtain. 566. By grace I'm saved.
Thank you, Jim Bartle, for recommending this one. It is a beautiful hymn. And it did come out of a lot of tragedy. So it was written in 1742 by Christian Ludwig Scheitz. He was the son of a mayor, so he was afforded a lot of opportunities for schooling. So he went to various schools, universities in France. And then after that, he taught for a little bit. And then he returned for more study and went to a couple to study theology in Germany.
Ooh.
And then he got a doctorate and spent the rest of his life in academic work.
Wow.
He was a
Very smart
professor, he was a librarian, an archivist, had lots of jobs within that. And so he also, though, was a man who very much trusted and loved God, which was evident in this, because this hymn was written shortly after the death of all of his children.
I can't even imagine. You had 8 kids and not one of them lived.
Yeah, so he had 8 kids, not at once.
Yeah,
but he had 8
obviously,
kids,
spread out.
and all of the kids died at a very young age.
Wow.
And 1700s, there's a lot going on, and that was taking the life of a lot of young kids. But but yeah, to lose all 8 of their children, and then tragedy got even worse was because he found out that his wife was having an affair with his assistant.
Oh.
And so then they got divorced, which in the 1700s, also a huge deal.
Wow.
But what he did was really draw on his faith. The original writing of this hymn actually has 10 verses. The one that we have in our hymnal only has 6.
But all of them start by grace, by grace, by grace, by grace, by grace. How strong a faith this man had, even though he had so many trials in his life. I don't know that with everything you go through in life, I would be turning to this, but thankful they did.
Yeah.
Also goes to show that the hymns that are in this hymnal that we get to sing are written by people, everyday people like you and me. Like, it's not, yes, he was a very educated man, but that's not what caused him to write these hymns.
Right.
It's not like he opened and said, I'm going to write a big theological hymn. He wrote them from the experiences in his life, from the trials of the death of his children, the situation with his wife. Like, those were things like, even though all of this is happening, I know that by grace I'm saved because of what Jesus did for me.
Yeah, the last verse, the last 2 lines say, my heart is glad, all grief has flown, since I am saved by grace alone. And I know Pastor Sander was always big on using the hymnal as devotions.
Yeah.
You know, even if you can't sing it, because the words to these hymns are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And such great reminders for us. So even if you were like me and you cannot carry a tune in a bucket, you can still get so much out of these hymns as devotional materials, because he took Ephesians 2:8-9 that said, by grace I'm saved through faith. It's not my own doing. It is the work of God. He took a simple Bible verse and then just so beautifully put to
so
words
many things, yeah.
What that means.
So we would encourage you, even though we're only going to briefly touch on a few hymns from our hymnal, to look more at each hymn that is in our hymnal, because obviously they're there for a reason. They are written by people just like you and me. Obviously they're facing, a lot in their life as well, but they didn't just come to be. They have them. Christian and maybe Paul Gerhardt should get together, because Paul Gerhardt is another one that wrote so many beautiful hymns because of his tragic life. He had 5-6 kids, and only one of them survived. So all of this going on just to pen these beautiful words, faithful, honest, trustworthy, by grace I'm saved kind of words.
And there's truly a hymn for everything. When you're experiencing great joy, there's a hymn. When you're experiencing sorrow, there's a hymn. When you are experiencing trials of faith, there is a hymn that you can draw strength from, because all of our hymns come from Scripture.
They do. And they all are categorized in our hymn, which is helpful, because this one for today, By Grace I'm Saved, is found in the justification section. So as you're reading it, you know that by grace we are saved through what Christ did for us.
So thank you, Jim Bartle, for pointing us to this hymn.
So join us next week as we take another closer look at the story behind the hymn. See you then.
Jen and Jamie on a Thursday.